Hello and welcome back to my third and final episode of my Tour the Fleece adventure. My name is Chantal and I'm coming to you from the south of the Netherlands, and I'm sharing my Tour the Fleece spinning and fleece related adventures with you. Today it's Thursday already, the 24th, and normally I start filming earlier in the week or even in the weekend, but last weekend I was under the weather a little bit. I ate something that didn't sit well with me, and instead of, with food poisoning, everything just comes out. It wasn't as severe as that, but in my case, it didn't leave my system immediately. It took a few days, and in those days I felt very tired. I didn't sleep well. I had a lot of stomach aches and belly aches, cramps, things like that. So it also happened to be the kind of weather that it was very hot but very humid and clouded. So even a normal even normal people would just feel like very low energy and very like that's all the time, and I had that double. So I really didn't feel like filming anything or spinning even. I was not in my right way. Luckily I bounced back. Everything is over now, and I've had a week in which I had to work also a lot, and I also had to do some chores that I didn't do during the weekends, like do some cleaning in the house and like mow the lawn and things like that. So I've been quite busy, but not with fleece. So yeah, suddenly it's Thursday. And it's now later in the afternoon. I've worked today as well. I'm still a bit tired, but my weekend started. So I think tomorrow I will pick up on spinning again. And luckily the Tour de Fleece ends on Sunday, so I still have tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, maybe a little bit of the Sunday to, catch up a little bit. It's not like I did nothing. I didn't do anything with the spinning wheel. So my fleeces of the Ouessant are still waiting for me to start spinning. I think I'm going to do this tomorrow morning. I'm usually more refreshed and energized in the morning, so I leave this for Friday morning. But I've done some knitting. It's kind of my default mode. If I want to be comfortable, I just start knitting and just lay on the couch with some animals and a podcast or Audible book, and just crawl in my bubble with some knitting. And that's what I did. I did do some filming. I think it was on Sunday. I haven't seen the footage yet, so I'm not sure if I'm going to use it because I didn't feel quite well that day. But I probably don't look as well either. But I will use it anyway. That's life. I thought, well, maybe if I don't feel good enough to do the spinning, then maybe I can cast on the body warmer project that I'm making for my friend. The Zwartbles was already spun, a large part of it, so I thought I can already cast on that. And before you do that, you of course need to calculate how many stitches you need. So I sat down and I took the measurements of his old body warmer. I drew that on a piece of paper, the newspaper, and I started measuring all kinds of parts that I thought were important to know. And then I took my gauge swatches. I made 3 of them, and now I'm in the trouble of not knowing the American needle sizes. Of course, we work with the are those the European needle sizes, or are they on this thing? I made 3 swatches. One needle size 5.5, which is, according to this thing, 9 in America. That became too tight, so then I tried 6.5, which is 10.5 in US. 6.5 was probably good, but I also wanted to try someone with needle 7. You don't have that in America, you know. It says there is just a okay, well, I don't know what that is in the US needles, but it's a tiny bit bigger. And I didn't have those needles, so I bought them. They came in, I made the swatch. It looked okay. I thought somewhere between the 6.5 and the 6 would be, the 6.5 and the 7 would be good. So it's about 10.5 in US. But I can tell you that if you don't feel very fit and you try to do some calculations, that's a challenge. I really, like, my head was very slow that day, but I managed. I came to a certain amount of stitches and I cast on the body warmer. Now, the body warmer is a project that I'm making half with my self-spun Zwartbles fleece, and a little bit the color work I'm going to make from yarn which is spun by his mother 50 years ago. So that yarn was not quite consistently spun, but that's okay. You know, it was his mother's yarn from 50 years ago. It's like sentimental statement. I really wanted to include that yarn. And because I wanted to make color work, I didn't just want to use the natural white color, but I also dyed a little bit of that yarn. And I did not film that. I'm so sorry. Please don't be mad. But I just wanted to do it and don't think about camera angles or hit the start button or explain what I was doing. I didn't feel well. So I did that off camera. But I can tell you what I did. I dyed them. I dyed the white yarn with Dharma acid dye, and I used a pH of 4, and I had the temperature at I can tell you in Celsius, but I will later, I will somewhere here I will say what it was in Fahrenheit, but around 80-90 degrees Celsius. Close, no, 85, let's say 85 Celsius. And I've used Dharma acid dye, the color pecan brown, with a little, 1% of pecan brown, with a little sniff bit of Chinese red. A hint. I couldn't measure it, it was so little. The yarn that I used was about 35 grams. So 1% is 0.35 grams of powder, which is not a lot. And a sniff of extra red, Chinese red, was just, I couldn't weigh that. So I took them like the back of a little teaspoon, made it a little bit wet and dipped it in the Chinese red just a little bit, so there was a tiny bit of of the powder sticking, and that's I put in the water. So tiny little bit. I wanted to make the pecan brown a little bit warmer in tone, and this is the color that came out. I hope you can see. Oh, is it sharp? I have to put on my glasses to see if it's sharp. Yes. This is the original color. The Zwartbles, I mean. Of course, this was the original color. So when this came out, I thought, I like the color. I like the color a lot for myself also. But it was quite dark. So then I did, which was okay. It was okay, but I thought, well, the second one I want to make a lot lighter. And I made that with tobacco leaf brown. And also there I put a little bit of Chinese red in there as well, also for that warm tone. The tobacco leaf brown was also 1%, and this is the color of the tobacco leaf. So together I have this. So I washed it, it dried for a night, and then the next day I could start on the color work. And I'm already through the color work. Also, I didn't make any footage of me knitting. Last week, you know, I bounced back. I regained my health again, and I started working again on Monday. Which was a busy week. So even in those days, I just didn't think about filming or Tour the Fleece too much. I just wanted to get through my days and get it over with. Well, it wasn't that bad, but yeah, it was different than the 2 weeks before. So I knitted. I made the chart of the color work that I wanted to use, and I didn't come up with that color work myself. I was thinking about what kind of color work I wanted to use for my friend Frans. I didn't want it to be too feminine, of course, and I didn't want it to be too difficult either. And then one day I was at one of my clients' house. I work the last year and a half. I've been working as a caregiver, so I come at the houses of the clients, and I do grocery shopping with them, or I cook for them, or I keep them company, or we go to shops or things, nice things, or on bezoek. We visit family, or things like that. And one lady, I was at her house, very nice 92-year-old woman. I cook for her very nice vegetarian organic meals, and she used to be someone who also knitted her own cardigans and sweaters, and one of her knitted cardigans was hanging on the back of a chair, and I saw it, and immediately I knew that's the color work that I want for this project, this body warmer that I'm going to make. So I made a quick picture of it, and at home I put it in a chart. So I will show you what it looks like at this moment. I already almost knitted up 2 skeins, so I noticed that it goes quite fast with the skeins. But we will see. And also I have to tell you that the size at this moment is not the accurate size. I'm knitting this in the round with steek, And later I'm going to put a zipper in, but I'm making a broader band here, not like it, almost like a button band, but I'm not going to do buttons and it's not going to overlap, but I'm going to do a broader piece here, just in without any color work in it, probably, because I wanted to make it a little bit masculine, you know. And if everything is color work and nice and small, and I thought maybe it will look too feminine. The yarn is quite chunky, so that doesn't really looks like a feminine garment, but I really wanted it to be a bit, you know, stoer, rough, like that. But it will get wider later. Now on the needles it's not like a man's size. Okay, here it is. This is what it looks like right now. This is the front. This is the back. And I hope that you can see the different colors. And everything that's color work. Oh, the doorbell. Wait a minute. Guys, it's Frans. He brought me fakes. And I'm going to show him his body warmer. Kom maar binnen, Frans! De camera staat aan, hè? Wacht, ik zal hem een beetje uitzoomen. Even. Ik was net aan het praten.
Ja. Wat wil je vertellen?
Als je een beetje hier komt staan, Frans.
Ja.
Kijk, daar is de camera.
Oh.
So people can see who my friend Frans is. En ik moet je even zeggen, de maat wordt nog iets breder later. Okay. Dus als je nu denkt hij is te smal.
Wat met de buik van?
Nee, dan komt hier nog een stuk tussen.
Oh, oké. Ja, ik heb helemaal geen verstand van Chantal. Het is zo fijn. Oh, mooi.
Er is hem.
En ik heb hem gemaakt?
Ja.
Hoe kan het allemaal zo met die hoeken?
Ja, daar heb ik erin gebreid, zie je het?
Oh, mooi. Oh, daar ben ik blij mee.
Vind je die mooi?
Dankjewel.
En hier wordt hij later doorgeknipt. En hier wordt hij nog breder. Maar deze kleur, die kleur, die kleur en die kleur. Deze balletjes. Dat is allemaal van jouw moeder.
Oh, heb ik er een hoop werk op gehad. Oh.
Dit gaat hem worden. Maar hij is nu nog iets te smal. Maar hij wordt nog breder.
Kan ik door gaan eten? Oh.
Ja, dat staat toch goed, hè?
Prachtig, hè? Prachtig.
Beautiful! Ja.
Ik ben er heel blij mee.
Oeh, hey, ben je erbij? Oeh, meisje. Oeh, meisje. So, that was quite the coincidence. Frans just left. We've been chatting for about an hour. So it's quite late now. Dogs want to go out and have something to eat. Okay. I was in the middle of a sentence and I think what I said was that the color work is all his mother's yarn. So it's very easy to see what was his mother's yarn and what was the rest. But now I don't know what I'm going to do because of the time. I think I'll probably start spinning tomorrow, the Ouessant. Tomorrow I will probably be a bit more fresh and energized. And I think I'm going to call it a day now. Yeah. I have to re-listen what I've said and then I will pick up tomorrow. And everything that I didn't tell you yet, what I was planning to tell you now, I will probably do tomorrow. So see you tomorrow. Bye. Okay, well, today it's Friday morning, the 25th, and I'm planning to taking my spinning wheel outside for a date and start spinning the Ouessant fleece that I've been preparing the last couple of weeks. But before I do that, I'm going to check how the weather is going to behave, because it's kind of, is it going to rain or is the sun going to shine? Is it going to rain? Is it maybe going to rain? Oh, it looks like it's going to rain. Oh no, the sun is coming out again. It's a little bit unpredictable, so I have to check the weather forecast. But well, anyway, as long as it's not raining, I can go outside, and if it starts to rain, I'm inside in a heartbeat. So I'm going to go outside. I really love spinning in the open air. Okay, but first I wanted to talk a little bit about where I was cut off yesterday, because Frans came and stole my time. Because there was something on my mind for the last couple of months, but especially the last couple of weeks since Tour the Fleece, and especially since last weekend, when I was a little bit under the weather and spending a lot of time resting on the couch, and I had my tablet, laptop, and I could browse a lot of content on spinning and Tour de Fleece content, of course, and yeah, that reignited something in me, a little desire that I have about maybe buying a electric spinning wheel. I've been thinking about it for a long time, but for a long time I also thought, yeah, I like that, but not now. Maybe later, maybe later. And I'm coming much closer to the moment where I think I want it, and I want it now. So, but there's a catch, because I already have an electric spinning wheel. It's a very old one, and it was given to me by my mother's friend years ago, and she hadn't used it for decades. She didn't use it in this century, but she used it when she was younger. It was a self-built spinning wheel. I have it with me. There are some pros and cons about the spinning wheel. The pro is that I have one, and it looks like this. I think this is a motor from an old sewing machine. It can hold the bobbins from a Ouessant. There is a little cute, very antique light. It's a very funny way of turning it on and off. It works, but the power is not on. I don't have the cable here connected. It looks a little, it has a little bit the aesthetic of a Ouessant, but it's not, it was homemade. And she told me that it was a very nice spinning wheel, and it went so fast. Spinning went so fast with this one. Well, I got this a few years ago when I was learning how to spin, and then I stopped for a few years, and last year I picked up spinning again. But a few years ago I got my Ouessant spinning wheel, and I got this one. And then I searched for a workshop where I could find somebody in the neighborhood who was an advanced spinner and could teach me the basics a little bit, so I wouldn't be all lost behind my spinning wheel. And of course there are a lot of tutorials on YouTube, and I've watched a lot of tutorials on YouTube, but it's easier if you have somebody sitting next to you who can tell you immediately when you do something wrong or why you have to do it in a certain way. So when I found a teacher, I went there for one afternoon or one day, and I brought my spinning wheel with me, and I also brought this one with me, and my teacher tried this one. The band that goes between the motor and the bobbin, this is also an Irish tension, was broken, but we tried to fix that with a big elastic thing, so we could try it. And she tried it, and didn't go very well. It was also a very hungry spinning wheel with a strong uptake or take up from really pulling a lot. And also there was quite some friction, I think, because of the fact that the hooks are a bit rusted, so it's not very smooth. And also here the orifice has doesn't feel very smooth, so the yarn broke a lot. And she told me, you really have to get used to this spinning wheel, and then maybe it's a nice one. But she recommended for me to just start spinning on the normal, you know, threadle wheel to learn my spinning on. So this one, I put it somewhere in a corner and never really used it. I know did I just mix up pros and cons? The big pro is that I have one. The con is the hooks that are a bit rusted and that it's very hungry. Also a con is that the foot pedal, it's also from an old sewing machine. It really is very difficult to, it goes full speed quite quickly, and it's very difficult to nuance and regulate the speed with this. Especially with your feet. Of course, with your hands maybe you can do it a little bit more regulated, but with your feet it was very difficult to not go full speed right away. So it's not a very, I think, beginners friendly spinning wheel. In the meantime, I did find a band that I can use for fixing the problem between the motor and the bobbin. This is the kind of band that if you heat up the edges, they melt a little bit, and when you put them together it's very strong, so I can cut this to size and fix this problem. Until yesterday evening I thought another con is that this motor only goes in one direction, I think clockwise. And how do you ply then if you have to go counterclockwise? Because there is not a switch that suddenly the motor can go the other way. But yesterday evening I saw a video that said that if this goes behind your bobbin and your motor, then of course it goes a certain way, but if you want it to go the other way, you just put a little twist in the cable and then your bobbin goes the other way. So that problem is solved. I haven't tried it yet, but in theory it's solved. And of course I can change the hooks, so it will be a little bit more smooth. And then, yeah, I have an electric spinning wheel. I have this one. I have an electric spinning wheel, yet I am thinking about a more modern and easier workable spinning wheel. And I've been thinking about that a lot the last couple of days. I have my eye on the eel wheel 6.1. I've watched a lot of videos and I'm just in love with it. So maybe I'm going to purchase one. Who knows? That's for future videos to see. Okay, enough talk. I'm going to get my spinning wheel. I'm going to set it up outside and I'm going to start spinning my Ouessant on my new flyer and on my new bobbins. So let's try and see how that goes. Snorretje. Hey meisje. Kom maar. Is dat nou? Hey, what is it? Hi, welcome back. I hope the lighting is okay. It's still early in the morning. It's Saturday today, and tomorrow it's the last day of Tour de France and therefore also for Tour de Fleece. And probably I will use tomorrow for editing because it's still in the weekend and Monday I have to work again. So I'm slowly getting, well, suddenly the end is near. And I'm overthinking the things I still wanted to do for Tour de Fleece that I probably cannot show you in these videos anymore. Yesterday I spun my first bobbin, my first one of 4 fleeces, rovings of, bats of the Ouessant sheep. And I was struggling with it a little bit because the bat is not, it's full of little chunks, little bits that are not really untangled. And when I'm trying to spin the woolen way a little bit, not the long draw, that was too much to ask, but a little bit the woolen way, and you're pulling out while the twist is forming, I noticed that these little chunks were a pain in the ass. So I had to stop often and try to untangle them a little bit, because otherwise the little bobs, the pieces, the thicker pieces in your yarn, which naturally occur, of course, they would become too big. And I didn't want to make it too big. So I was sort of doing worsted and woolen spinning, alternating between those two a little bit, and in the meantime trying to make the thread as thin as possible for me, which it's a little bit thinner than I did before. I also found a way to do the cross-lacing with this flyer, because I thought, how do I do that when I don't have all the hooks on the sides of the flyer? But you can put, I hope you can see it, otherwise I cannot see it. Yeah, I think the display shows this, that when the thread is on one side, you can pull it out a little bit and throw it against the around the other side of the flyer, and then you have this little zigzag. So you do have a possibility to do the cross lacing with this flyer. I didn't see anybody do that, on the content that I was looking for. But well, finally I did find somebody who did it like that. Also, of course, if people watching who know how to spin, they already know that if you're spinning very thin, it helps when you put an extra bit of foam or something like that, like a pool noodle, or we have these water pipe isolation pipes. You can put them around your around your bobbin, and then it becomes a bit thicker, and that slows down the pull of your Irish tension spinning wheel. Yes. I did learn a lot these last couple of weeks about spinning and about little tricks and about new things like the plying bracelet, for instance, and I really enjoyed it. But I also noticed that having the Tour de Fleece in July, in the middle of summer, is not the best timing for me, because also the garden, it takes a lot of time to work in the garden right now. I'm neglecting that a little bit at this moment, because I think, oh, I have to continue with my Tour de Fleece related projects. I'm not sure if Tour de Fleece, combined in this period of time during Tour de France, is very manageable for me. So that's something to consider. It could be that next year, when it's Tour de Fleece again, I just participate again in my own way and see what I can do. Yeah, I did notice some frustration sometimes that I just didn't have a lot of time to do the things I normally do in this time of year. So that's one. The other thing is, I'm doing this in English. This is my English version, and normally I do my videos, my knitting videos, in Dutch, and I do them about once a month. Not very often, because I work, I have a house and a garden to tend to, I have other hobbies, I have friends and pets and things. So my life is not all about wool, and not every little bit of spare time goes into wool related stuff. So I don't make enough content to do this every week like I have been doing the last couple of weeks, because my life is not like that. So my Dutch knitting podcasts, vlogs, I do about once a month, sometimes twice a month, sometimes once in 2 months. It all depends how my life is going at that time. I don't want to strictly put myself in a regime of once a month. So if my life goes very smoothly, then my videos come out kind of regularly. But if I have things to do, then sometimes that changes. I never had really the intention of starting English versions of my knitting podcasts, also because I don't want the extra work. So I know in the comments there have been people asking or hoping to continue doing this in English, and I've been thinking about it, if that's a possibility or not. I do like to do it in English, but I don't really have the time to do everything in English too, because also the editing is double then. But maybe, I'm not making promises, let's say that in advance, but maybe I can do it once a season, once every 3 months. Do a little theme and like a rounded theme that I can spend one video on and do that in English. Maybe that's an idea. I will have to see. I'm not saying no. So that's something. Also, one of the viewers, found out that you can go to the subtitles and the settings, and then the subtitles first come out in Dutch, but then you can go to auto translate and you can put it in English. So you can watch my Dutch videos with English subtitles. I'm sure it's not ideal, and maybe the translation will not always be correct, and maybe I'm talking too much sometimes in Dutch, but it's a possibility for now. But maybe I will also do once in a while an English video as well, because I do like to enter the world stage of the knitting community a little bit, although I'm not really a very active member of the knitting community, even in the Netherlands. I just sit in my little house or in my garden doing my own thing and just putting videos out there, but I'm not really meeting up with people or things like that. Yeah, maybe it's the world stage of the knitting community is quite big, and maybe with a lot of content makers, so I'm just somewhere in the corner. There you can find me sometimes. Yeah. So today it's almost August, dus Augustus, September, October, so maybe in the beginning of November I will be there with an English video. Let's make that one appointment, that I will be back at the beginning of November and see if I show up. But I will put it in my calendar. An English video in November, the start of November. If life goes well, of course. Yeah. Well, because the end is coming, I cannot really show everything that I'm working on. So today I can probably spin the second bobbin. So I have half of my fleeces done, but I will let my bobbins rest for a few days and then I'll ply them. That's too late for this Tour de France, Tour the Fleece period of time. Also, I really wanted to show you the sock wool, or start spinning on the sock wool. Oh wait. I have a few fleeces. Yeah, the sock wool. I bought a few fleeces or tops months ago. First I bought them at World of Wool in the UK. That was before I noticed that they also sold them in web shops in the Netherlands. But in the UK I saw them first. Really beautiful, like heathered colors, and they have like biodegradable nylon in it. But I really fell for the titles, because this one is called The Potter's Wheel, And of course you don't know yet, but I know that originally I am a ceramist. I've studied ceramics in college, on art school, and I've been a pottery and ceramics teacher for over 20 years. I stopped 2 years ago with teaching. But if things are related to pottery or clay, I'm sold. So this, I wouldn't have chosen this color per se for socks, but since it was called Potter's Wheel, I thought, yes, I need to have this. And I really want to spin this. And the other one, this one, also beautiful, was called Rustic Clay. Well, yeah, then I have to have it. So this color, I have this color. I really want to start spinning these. But I think I'll wait with these a little bit, because I think I'm going to buy the e-spinner I set my mind to. Especially yesterday evening, I suddenly remembered that in about a month it's my birthday. So I thought, I can buy myself an e-spinner for my birthday. Then, you know, I have a good reason. I can treat myself. So I think there will be an e-spinner coming this way. And I will save these wool tops for that machine. I will not put it in this Tour the Fleece video. I also bought some BFL, Blue Face Leicester, and some Corriedale fleece, white. I really want to start dyeing with them in colors that I like, because I don't always like the colorways that indie dyers do. I want to make my own. That's also, I think, more for winter time, when the garden is resting, and yeah, I can, you know, retreat myself. Retreat or retrieve myself in my little room with the stove on and cat sleeping, and then I'll take my spinning wheel and I have more time to really relax in spinning, really set my mind to it. And I think in summertime I'm a bit all over the place, and I still have some knitting projects that I really want to start as well. So this has been quite an experience and I've learned a lot, but I'm not sure if this was the best timing for me. But I don't regret it. I really liked spending time behind my wheel and getting to know all of you, of course. Oh. Too much, too much. Oh, I totally forgot. I have to talk about the sheep too. The sheep that I knitted last time for my friend from Belgium. It was last weekend. I was not feeling too well in that weekend because of something I ate before. And but I still went to the barbecue. And it was really nice to see my friends again and spend time together. And I gave the sheep. I did it not in a very, how do you say that, public way. I didn't do it very publicly. When with everybody watching, you know, and you present a gift to somebody and everybody's watching. I didn't do it like that. I took my friends apart, and in a little corner I said, I have a gift for you. You did give it to me years ago, and I'm giving it back, but in a different shape and form. So she didn't, of course, knew what I was talking about, but the moment she opened it, her eyes lit up and she said, "Oh, it's my sheep." It was exactly the color of the fleece that she remembered, because I thought maybe when you have the actual sheep in the meadow, the sheep in the meadow, sometimes the outer part of the fleece, it's a bit sun bleached, so the color can be different than how it looks when you've mixed it all together and washed it and, you know, spun yarn from it. I saw it with these Ouessant sheep. When I got the fleeces, they were much more reddish from the outside and not as brown and dark as they are now. So I had this initial fear that it was their sheep's fleece, but it didn't really was recognized as their sheep's fleece. But she said, no, this is exactly the color as I remember, and she was really, really happy and glad about the fact that I made this for her. So I think it will get a nice place in their house, and yeah, it was a good gift. And I'm really glad that I got it done in time. I did think that my sheep his head looked a bit like a rat, the rat-shaped face, and not so much a sheep face. Because the Herdwick sheep, if you look up a picture of a Herdwick sheep's face, it's the most happiest sheep face that you will ever see. They look so, well, if you have a bad day, look up the face of a Herdwick sheep and you will instantly feel better, because it's like this beautiful, happy face looking back at you. And my sheep, my knitted sheep, didn't really have that cuteness in his face, but okay. It was the thought that counts. So yeah, I'm really glad that I made it in such short notice. But I managed and I gave it and I felt really good. Even though I didn't feel really good, I felt really good. So that was a success. Yeah. Okay, I will continue spinning, and I will probably at the end of the day come back to you and see if I missed something, if I still need to talk about something, and then I probably close off. So yeah, see you later. So today it's Sunday afternoon, the 27th of July, and therefore the last day of the Tour de France and also the last day of Tour the Fleece. And I've been editing a big part of the day, starting to see my own finish line almost. But there was a little bit that I wanted to do before I really finished, because it didn't feel like how I wanted it to end. This morning I thought, well, I have two bobbins spun with singles of the Ouessant sheep. I was intending to let them rest for a couple of days, but this morning I thought, no, I'm going to ply them. So I took my spinning wheel, I put it outside in the open air, and I did a little bit of plying, which was beautiful. It was such a nice day and such a nice morning. And after I've plied them, I put them in some water for a good half hour, 45 minutes, and then I hung it to dry. I smacked it or whacked it, I don't know how you call that in English, but I went like this on the table a few times to set the twist. And the weather has been really beautiful. It's not been raining, so it's dry now. And I can show you what it looks like. Of course, it's only half of the project that's spun now. I have another half to go, but that will happen in good time. It's not on a beautiful skein yet. I'm not sure if every thread is in the right direction. But this is what it looks like. I hope the light is a little bit okay. And compared to the Zwartbles, you can see a difference in color. Both natural brown sheep, but the Zwartbles is really a bit more warm brown. Yes. And the Ouessant a bit more lighter brown. There's difference in browns. I really like it. It's not as soft as I would have expected after I felt the fleece, but or the fleece, the bed. But still, it's a very, I can make something of it. I'm not sure how much this weighs yet. We will see. It will not be a big project. Probably this will be a scarf or something like that. But yeah, now it feels like I'm a bit more finished. My last project that I wanted to show you is like in a finished state. So that was it. This is a wrap. I would like to thank you all very much for watching and spending time with me in the last couple of weeks. And who knows when we will meet again, maybe at the beginning of November, or maybe some other time, or maybe in one of my Dutch videos, or who knows, yeah, thank you very much, really enjoyed it, and see you later. Bye.